What's going on YouTube? So real quick before I start this video, I'm just letting you guys know that I will be returning the rubber hose for the low side, the T, and all these fittings that are for the rubber hose. I will be returning these for a couple reasons. So first of all, this rubber hose is going to be a little too close to the exhaust. Them headers get really hot, so that's my number one concern, is being that close to the headers. Number two, me personally, I like the braided look to it, and I still have plenty PTFE hose to finish what I got to do. So 10 feet was definitely enough. I did end up getting a T from Evil Energy, and this is for 6 a.m. So this is gonna work perfect. So I got the T here, and I did get 5 feet of CPE fuel line hose. It's kind of like the PTFE hose. It's got the black braided jacket, but this has got the rubber hose. And I got these 6AN finisher clamps, so these are going to look really nice. Now the only reason why I end up getting the CPE hose and these finisher clamps is when I go from the T to the cooler line down there, the PTFE hose is not going to go over that cooler line. So I'm going to need some kind of rubber hose, which, as you can see, it's got the rubber hose on the inside. Plus it's going to match everything else. So I like the black braided hoses, so it's going to look really nice. But yep, she's coming along, guys. Alright, enough talking, let's get into the video. What's up, guys? So this is going to be part 2 on the Hydroboost conversion. So I got the old booster out and the old master cylinder, so I got everything ready to go. Got the Hydroboost up in the vise here. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this old plate off, and we're going to put the new one on. So I'll be right back with you. Well, that was fun. So as you can see, I got the plate off. Impact gun works just fine. And guys, this is on there pretty tight. Now real quick, when you're installing the new plate, see how these got teeth on this nut or ring, whatever you want to call it. When you install the new plate on, I was reading the directions. Make sure the teeth, see these teeth right here, are gonna face away from the Hydroboost, so gonna face out. The kit does come with a thread locker, so you go put a little bit of thread locker on these threads here. And it said to torque the new plate on to at least 150 foot-pounds. So let me get this on real quick and I'll get back at you. Alright, another update here. So I put some blue thread locker on the threads, and you can see the teeth are facing out. Now I just hit it with the impact gun. So it says at least 150 foot-pounds. Got the Loctite on there. Hit that with the impact, and mine has a snap ring. So that snap ring should, keep it from backing out as well. But yeah, the plate is on, and mine actually came with a rubber boot. So I'm gonna put the boot on. So as far as I was reading the instructions, and as far as notching out the hole, that's only if you have a 99 through 04 Hydroboost. So that's another good thing about a 96 or 98. We don't have to do any notching around the hole. So it should just fit right on in. I'm hoping. All right, the boot is on. Got everything all done here. The next thing I gotta do is take out the pedal assembly. I'm hoping I don't have to do all that. I could probably skip a bunch of steps because I have an automatic. So I might be able to reach the bolt and the nut and just take out the brake pedal and swap it with the new one, but we shall see. But I got all this all assembled, ready to go, and let's go inside the car and see what we got. Alright guys, so we're inside the car. As you can see, I got my brake pedal somewhat loose. That bolt is pretty long. Got the nut off right there, so that's off. So my problem is the bolt, it has to slide out this way, and it's hitting this metal piece right here, which goes all the way up. So the bolt, it's kind of hard to see under here. So I'm trying not to take the steering column down, but basically where those wires are up there, it's hitting on the side right there. So it's halfway out. You can see the pedal is loose. What to do? I'm just praying I don't have to take the steering column out and take the pedal box out. I've already made it this far, and the bolt, like I said, it's hard to see, but it's up there hanging. Let me see if I can work that bolt out. So I'll be back with you. Alright guys, success. So I did not have to drop the steering column down or any of that. So yeah, the pedal is out. Got the brake pedal out. And so now you guys can make fun of me for having an automatic. I bet if you had a manual, you would have never got this pedal out. I managed to reach up there, and the bolt goes through here, and it's a 10mm bolt, and then the nut was a 13mm. We are going to be reusing the nut and bolt, and I guess like the bushings are inside the pedal. We're going to transfer everything to the new one. Alright guys, just getting everything all assembled here. You do have to take out the internals out of the original pedal and transfer everything over to the new one. It comes with a new, I guess it's like a spacer. So that's going to go right there. The nuts, which are all the same to mount the Hydrobooster. So the nuts are the same for this and for the pedal. But the washers are different. These gold washers are going to be for the Hydroboost when we install this. And for the pedal, you're going to use the small silver washers. So you got the bolt and a washer, and a washer and a nut. And then same with this one. I'm just getting everything all prepped, ready to go. I think there's a torque spec for these nuts, so let me I gotta look at the instructions and see what the torque spec is. And same with this, when we mount this up, there's gonna be a torque spec for this as well. So let me check the instructions and see what we got. All right, got the Hydroboost in. These lines ain't tightened up just yet. Just getting everything all mocked up. Make sure everything is looking good. And I already routed one hose, and like I said, this one's going to go to your power steering pump. Just got to run along the side here and then right to the pump. And as you can see, I got the old hoses off and then drained the power steering fluid, so we're pretty much ready to roll here. Now guys, this the fitting for the power steering pump, it comes with a copper crush washer, so you don't need no thread lock or any thread sealant. So you're just going to use that copper washer, and then when you tighten it down, you're going to torque this fitting to 15 foot-pounds. And then if you guys do decide, or if you have to take out your pedal box, you're going to have to disconnect steering column shaft. So that nut is going to get torqued to 54 foot-pounds. And I got everything installed in here. So the 4 nuts that are supplied in the kit, make sure you use the washers and nuts. And then for the nuts for the Hydroboost, you're going to torque those to 26 foot-pounds. And then the nuts for the pedal, you're going to tighten these to 33 foot-pounds. And then like I said, if you guys are taking the steering box out, once you put everything back in, there's I believe there's a nut and a bolt in the center, so you're going to torque those to 15 foot-pounds. And then that long bolt that's holding the pedal at the top, you're going to torque that to 19 foot-pounds. Alright, so I'm getting ready to install these fittings from Maximum Motorsports, and these go to your power steering rack. Now guys, these are like a plastic O-ring, and they're very tight getting over these threads here. So what Maximum Motorsports recommends is putting the O-ring under hot water. Now I actually had to boil the water, got really nice and hot to actually help this O-ring expand a little bit. And then you guys pretty much got to use your thumb or fingernail to really get that over there, and you got to do it quick. So once you get these O-rings heated up, you slide it right on over. But these were a pain in the butt getting those on. Now there's 2 different sizes. So again, the black one is going to go to the top port, and that's going to be for your low pressure side, and that's going to be the bigger O-ring. Then you got the smaller O-ring, which is going to be for the yellow or gold fitting, and this is going to be your high pressure side. So this is going to go to the lower port. And this did come with some thread sealant, so we are going to put some thread sealant on the threads here. So I'm going to get all that taken care of. And then and then these, actually, when you install these fittings, they get torqued to 22 foot-pounds. Hey guys, real quick, I'm going to show you how to assemble your hose and your fittings here. So now, once you find the length that you need, always put some masking tape or a painter's tape before you start cutting, because if you don't use the tape, your ends are going to look something like this. Now you got 3 layers here. So this is the nylon black braided jacket here. You see this is like really stringy, so definitely use tape while cutting. Then you got a second layer. There's your stainless steel layer, and then you got your PTFE hose inside. So what you want to do is, let's go to the tape then here. Now you could use some cutters like this, or a grinder, small grinder, to cut it, and make sure you cut it nice and straight. This tool, if you use the cutters, see how it's not perfectly round, you got this tool here and you just shove it inside and that would help round it out. Pull that out real quick. Now your fittings, if you open up your fitting, you have this little metal sleeve inside. So what we're going to do is this end piece right here, we're going to slide this over the hose first. So you got to slide this over. It's kind of tight. And we're going to get a small flathead screwdriver, because what you want to do is you want to open the jacket all the way around, and then the hose is going to go inside this metal sleeve here. Okay, so it should look something like this. So you're going to flare it out, and then you're going to get your little fitting here. It only goes on one way. So the goal is to slide the hose inside the sleeve until it can't go any farther. So there's a little stop at the bottom. So what you're going to do is get the hose inside the sleeve. It's going to be a tight fit, like so. And then you could press it against like a hard surface. So I'm going to push mine on here. Okay. So it's pushed down all the way. We could take this tape off now. All right, so we are going to slide this up, and then you're going to grab your fitting, and then you're just going to shove it through like so. Give it a little twist. It's going to be tight there, so it's all the way seated like so. And then we're going to slide this up, this piece, and we're going to twist it on. And you're probably going to get so far finger tight. So what we're going to do now is put some tape around here on the end, and we're going to put this in the vise, and then you can get an adjustable wrench, and we're going to turn this the rest of the way. Alright, we got the fitting in the vise. Put a little bit of painter's tape just to protect it from scratching the fitting. So what we're going to do now is tighten up the rest of the way. And you can see there's a focus here. There's a little gap right there, so we're going to tighten this the rest of the way with the adjustable wrench. And we're just going to tighten it until we can't go any farther. Alright, got everything all nice and tight. When you guys tighten these up, just make sure they're nice and snug. I'm going to over tighten it, so you just want to just snug it up. And then once that gap's pretty much sealed, and some people line up these lines right here. But yeah, other than that though, she's ready to go. I just gotta cut the length, and I got one more side to do. Yep, she's coming along. I just gotta hook up to that T down there and then right to the rack. And we're just about done here, guys. Everything's all complete here. So let me give you the rundown. Remember, these two are your high pressure lines. The first one right here, got this going right to the power steering pump. And then this one right here, another high pressure, that's going down to the power steering rack. And remember, it's the bottom one. And then this one's going to be your low pressure side. So you come down, got to go into the T right here, So it's going to split off, so it's going down to the upper port of the power steering rack, and then from here on I just got it routed under here, and it's going to go to the bottom of your cooler line. And then the top one from your cooler line, the top cooler line hose is going to come up to the bottom of your power steering pump. As far as fittings and hoses go, I used 3 180-degree PTFE fittings for up here, and in the PTFE hose I used 10 feet, which was plenty to get this job done. Used 190. This is a PTFE fitting, and then I got a T that accepts the 6AN fittings, and I got a straight PTFE, and then I got 2 45s. So this 45 is going to the power steering rack, and then this one's going down to the cooler line. And then the 2 fittings that are right here on the power steering rack, they're both 45s as well. Now basically all this is PTFE hose. The only hoses that are CPE hose, like I said, are the ones going to the cooler line. So from here off this T, that's going to be a CPE hose, and you need the fitting. It's got to be accept the CPE hose, and I only used 5 foot, which is plenty to get this side done. And then same thing, the top of the cooler line going to the bottom of the pump, that's a CPE hose as well. But the only thing I gotta do now, guys, like I said, everything's just mocked up, but I'm just gonna go around and get everything all tightened up. But this video is just basically how to get everything set up for your Hydroboost, and I'm not trying to make this video too long. So now, as far as bleeding the system, I was reading the directions. Do not fill up your power steering pump until you bleed the brakes. So again, do not fill your reservoir up with power steering fluid. You're going to bleed the brakes. You want to bench bleed your master cylinder. That's going to be the first thing you want to do. And then always start from the passenger rear, and then you're going to go to your driver side rear, and then you're going to come to the front passenger, and then the driver side front to as far as bleeding the brakes. Now you might have to repeat those, if you still have air in your system. So like I said, bleed your brakes first. As far as your power steering, that's just like if you were to drain your power steering system. So now as far as doing that, once you fill it up, it's always good to have a friend out here so they can keep an eye on the level. So when you start up your car, you're going to want to turn left and right to get the fluids flowing. So, and what you don't want to do is, once you start up the car and you start turning your wheels, it's going to start sucking the fluid through the system. So that's why I was saying it's always good to have a friend out here to keep an eye on the level, because I'll tell you what, I've had this happen before. If the level goes too low, or once it sucks everything through the system and you don't have enough fluid, it's going to make a winding noise, and then you're going to mess up the pump. So always good to have a friend out here to keep an eye on the level while you start up and turn the wheel. So, and then the Hydroboost, there is a bleeder screw one here. I just saw it. It's in the back here. So there's a bleeder screw right there, right here. So what you're going to want to do is, if there's air in the system, just run a clear hose from the bleeder screw and then just run it right to your reservoir, and then just keep an eye for the air bubbles. So, and then once you see the air bubbles are gone, you guys should be good to go. That's pretty much it for the bleeding process. So like I said, do not fill up your reservoir until you bleed the brakes first. Alright guys, I'm going to end this video here. And like I said, this is just a show you how to install a Hydroboost on the Fox body. So hope this helps some of you guys out, and I will see you on the next one. See ya.